So tonight, I want to talk about something every single person watching this live will experience sometime. Or at some point in your life, you will experience it. A closed door. And I don't mean a physical door. I mean the phone call that says, unfortunately, you were unsuccessful. The promotion that went to somebody else. The relationship you thought would last forever that suddenly ended. The business you poured everything into that didn't work out. The university application that came back with a no. What about the loan that wasn't approved? The friendship that changed. The opportunity you thought was finally yours. And somehow it disappeared. So tonight's topic is, when the door closes, who do you become? Because here's what I have discovered. Everybody likes talking about open doors. Everybody. We post about open doors. We celebrate open doors. We testify about open doors. We announce the promotion. We post the graduation. We photograph the new house. We announce the new engagement. We oftentimes celebrate the business launch. Good night, Marie. But nobody posts, today the door closed. Nobody takes a photograph holding the rejection letter. Nobody does that. Nobody posts, I didn't get the promotion. Nobody celebrates, the relationship ended. And yet, I would argue tonight that some of the most important moments of your life will happen after a door closes. Because an open door tells you where you're going. A closed door often reveals who you are as a person. So here's my first question to you tonight. Have you ever desperately wanted something, didn't get it, and later realized that the rejection actually helped you? My question for tonight, just give me a yes or no. Have you ever desperately wanted something, but you didn't get it, and later realized that the rejection actually helped you? I'm going to put up my hand first thing and say yes, many times. Many times I desperately needed things. I desperately wanted things to happen, and it just didn't work out. But in the end, that rejection actually worked in my favor. Have you ever been in such a situation where you desperately wanted something, but you didn't get it, and you later realized that the rejection actually helped you? Let me hear from you, yes or no? Or am I assuming that everyone in the live, you're always hearing yes? Good night, fallen child. Let me hear from you. Have you ever wanted something so bad, but you didn't get it, and later you found out that it actually worked in your favor? It was for your good. I see Kaf says yes. This has happened to me more than once. And this segment of the presentation is going to be based on the fact that sometimes, you see, we have been conditioned to expect only open doors. So let's talk about success. We have created a culture obsessed with winning. We're constantly told, keep going. We must work hard. We must believe in ourselves. We must manifest it. We must pray about it. And that we must stay positive. And sometimes they'll tell you, your time is coming. And those messages can be encouraging. But there's something we don't say enough. Sometimes you can work incredibly hard and still not get what you wanted. Is that true? Sometimes you can work very hard and you still doesn't get what you wanted. Sometimes you can be qualified and somebody else gets selected. Sometimes you can love someone and they still leave. Sometimes you can build a good business and it fails. Sometimes you can do everything you thought was right and the answer you get is still no. And that's life. That's life. And perhaps we've done people a disservice by teaching them how to pursue opportunities without actually teaching them how to survive disappointment. We teach people how to win, but who teaches us how to lose? Who teaches us how to hear we selected another candidate and still believe in ourselves? Who teaches us how to watch somebody else receive the opportunity we desperately wanted without becoming bitter? Because that's where true character begins. So if you have a pen or paper close by, I want you to write this down. Rejection doesn't determine your value, but your response to rejection can determine your future. Let me repeat that. Write it down somewhere. Rejection doesn't determine your value, but how you respond to rejection can determine your future. There are people, you see, who have allowed one closed door to define the next 10 years of their lives. One closed door, you know. They've allowed one closed door to define the next 10 years of their lives. One person rejected them and they stopped trusting. One employer overlooked them and they stopped trying. One business, they started one business and it failed and they stopped creating. One friendship ended and they stopped connecting with people. They often say delayed but not denied. Exactly. One person told them, you're not good enough. And 20 years later, they're still living according to that person's opinion. And that's the danger. The door closed once, but you kept it closed in your mind for years. Let me shift to that. Sometimes we experience one closed door. We experience one criticism. We experience one no. And we keep it closed in our minds for years. So we use one bad experience to dictate the next 10, 15 years of our lives. And that's dangerous. So I'm here tonight to tell you, one closed door. Forever blessed, good night, good night. Thank you for joining. I'm here to tell you, one closed door, one no. The opinion of another person should not be used to define what you do tomorrow. It should not dictate what you do tomorrow. It shouldn't stop you from trying. A failed business should not stop you from creating. A failed friendship should not stop you from creating future connection, from connecting with people. One person told you you weren't good enough. You cannot use that. You cannot use that to dictate what you do for the next 10, 15 years. And Marie says, belief in yourself helps ensure that disappointment does not destroy sense of purpose. Let me give Maria on for that one. Let me give Maria on for that one. Let me give Marie, where's my on? Come on, on. Marie says, belief in yourself helps ensure that disappointment does not destroy sense of purpose. So you cannot allow the opinion of one person, one bad experience, one closed door, one failed business, one failed relationship, one failed friendship to dictate what you do tomorrow, to dictate how you move on, to dictate how you make future decisions. You cannot allow it. You cannot allow it to keep your mind closed. You cannot allow that. Because closed doors, you see, closed doors reveal things about us that success can hide. Closed doors reveal things about us that success can hide. Here are those things. Success can hide entitlement. Success can hide and it can mask insecurity. When you're successful, it can hide arrogance. Success can hide dependency. Because when everything is going your way, it's easy to appear emotionally healthy. But let someone tell you no. Let somebody else get promoted. Let somebody else get recognized instead of you. Let someone leave your life. Let a plan you've worked on fail. And now we will discover something. We will discover who are you when you don't get what you want. So it's a fact. When you're successful, when everything is going your way, it can hide entitlement. It can hide insecurity. It can hide arrogance. It can hide dependency. But when you hear no, when you finally hear that no, when someone else is promoted instead of you, when someone else is recognized instead of you, that's when people will truly see who you are when you don't get what you want. And that's a much better test of character. If you want to test someone's character, wait until things doesn't go their way. Wait until they hear no. Wait until someone else is promoted over them. Because no is a test of character. So let me ask you a question. Can you congratulate the person who got the opportunity you wanted? Be honest with yourself. Can you genuinely congratulate the person who got the opportunity you wanted? Can you continue performing excellently after being overlooked for a position? Can you walk away from a relationship without trying to destroy the other person's reputation? Can you do that? Can you lose without becoming cruel? Can you be disappointed without becoming destructive? Can you hear criticism without declaring everybody as your enemy? Those questions reveal emotional maturity. She stand alone and said, yes, because I would have wanted the same for myself. Exactly. It means you're emotionally mature. Dav says, yes, I can. But not all of us will be able to do that. Not all of us can genuinely congratulate someone who got the job we wanted. Not all of us can genuinely continue to perform excellently after we've been overlooked. Most of us cannot walk away from a relationship without trying to destroy the next person's character or the reputation. Most of us cannot lose without being cruel or be disappointed without becoming destructive. Or when we hear criticism, we start declaring that the whole world is against us. Most of us cannot do that. And that speaks to emotional maturity. So here's a private reflection. Don't answer the live, please. This is a private reflection. This is between you and yourself. So when I am rejected, you see, what happens to me? I want you to ask yourself that question. When you are rejected, what happens to you? Do you become angry? Do you become withdrawn? Do you immediately blame somebody? Or you start to question your worth? Hmm? Do you become obsessed with proving people wrong? Or do you start attacking the person who was selected? Or better yet, do you process the disappointment, learn what you can, and keep moving? Because sometimes the closed door isn't the biggest problem. Sometimes the disappointment, sometimes the closed door isn't the biggest problem. Sometimes it is who we become after it closes. It's who we become after that door closes. So here's another uncomfortable truth. Not every no is an attack on you. Not every no is an attack on you. Not every time you're not promoted, it's an attack on you. Not every time something goes wrong, it's an attack on you. Sometimes someone else was simply better suited for the opportunity. And that's a fact. Sometimes you hear no and you think it's an attack on you, but no. Sometimes someone else was simply just better suited for that opportunity than you. And that's difficult to hear. It is difficult to hear. But emotional maturity allows us to say, I wanted it. I'm disappointed, but perhaps I still have some growing to do. That's emotional maturity. Being able to look at something you wanted and admit to yourself, yes, I wanted it. And I'm disappointed because I'm human. But perhaps I still have some more growing to do. And you go and work on yourself. We need to also understand that sometimes timing is wrong. Sometimes circumstances change. Sometimes budgets disappear. Sometimes organizations restructure. Sometimes people change their minds about us. And sometimes, yes, you weren't ready. Sometimes you weren't ready. Sometimes you thought you were ready. You think you were ready, but sometimes you just weren't ready. And that doesn't mean you'll never be ready. It doesn't mean that. There's a huge difference between not now and never. Huge difference between not now and never. But emotionally fragile people often turn temporary disappointment into permanent identity. What did I say? Emotionally fragile. And that's why I wrote this book, The Psychology of Fragility. Sometimes our mindset is so fragile that we get one temporary disappointment, we turn it into something permanent. It becomes our permanent identity, and that's wrong. So you went to an interview. Maria says, I've learned to trust. That's how we have to do, trust the process. So you weren't selected for a job, and you walk away saying, I wasn't selected, therefore I am a failure. That's not the way to look at it. Look at it as being, no, it's not your time. Look at it as saying, I have some more growing to do. That wasn't meant for me. Because what is yours? What is yours? Nobody can change that. Never allow failure to become your identity. Never. Never allow when you fail, when you don't get what you want, it should never ever become your identity. And this brings me to something I discussed in my book. It's actually chapter 9 in this book. Chapter 9. Transferable capital and the illusion of authority. I discussed this transferable capital in chapter 9. So what is transferable capital, you might ask? So one of the most dangerous things we can do is build our identity, or influence, or competence, relationships, and self-worth around one position, one organization, one relationship, or one environment. What did I say? Kaff says failure should be exactly a redirection. What did I say? Transferable capital. One of the most dangerous things we can do as humans is build our entire identity, or influence, or competence, or relationships, and our sense of worth around one position, one organization, one relationship, or one environment. Because what happens when that door closes? And that's why in chapter 9 of this book, I spoke extensively about transferable capital. And transferable capital asks a different question. What it does, it says, what have I developed that travels with me when the title doesn't? What skills have you learned? So while you're a teacher, while you are an exec, whatever position you're in, while you're in that position, what skill are you developing? So if God forbid you lose the job tomorrow morning, you're employed elsewhere. And that's what is called transferable capital. Never ever. Transferable capital, without transferable capital, you're living a dangerous life. Because when transferable capital is developing skills while you're in your current role that can be transferred, that can be used somewhere else if this door closes. So if I lose my job tomorrow morning as a principal, I have enough developed skills in other areas that I can go and get job elsewhere. That is what we call transferable capital, and why it is important. So when you are in a role, never ever center all your training, all your skills around that one role. Because when the door closes, when they remove that role from you, who will you become? Where will you go? And that's the importance of transferable capital, and I've discussed it extensively in chapter 9 of this book. So transferable capital asks, what have I developed that travels with me when the title doesn't? But think about that. Your position can disappear. Your skills don't have to. Your office can disappear. Your knowledge doesn't have to. Your title can disappear. It will disappear. Your credibility doesn't have to. One organization may stop valuing you. Your ability to create value shouldn't disappear. And that distinction is incredibly important. So while you're in your current role, ensure that you build transferable capital. You build skills that can be used in other contexts. Don't sit and center all your skills. Pour 100% into that current role you're in, because when that role is removed, when you're fired, when you retire, when they replace you, when that title is removed, where will you go? Will those skills will you be able to use those skills somewhere else? Always think about that. Always think about that. And transferable capital, we don't talk about it often enough. We don't talk about it often enough, but we need to. We need to. We need to talk about transferable capital and us developing skills outside of our current jobs. It is important. You know, some people call it side job or the skill. You have a skill that you can fall back on. What is your fallback skill? If you lose your job tomorrow morning, what skill can you fall back on? What is there for you to fall back on? Always remember that. So building transferable capital. So while the door is open, listen this. Listen this. While the door is open, build things that can travel through another door. And what are those things, you might ask? And they're explaining this book. What are those things that you can build that will travel through other doors? Build knowledge. Build knowledge. It means you should keep learning. Build skills. Become excellent at things that matter beyond your current position. Become excellent at things that matter beyond your current position. Build relationships. Build authentic networks, not transactional ones. So don't just sit in your corner. Network. Go there and network. Build your reputation. Let your name mean something even when your title isn't decided. What did I say? Let your name mean something even when your title is not decided. Focus on emotional intelligence. Learn how to communicate, negotiate, resolve conflict, and understand people. Those are essential skills. When you know how to communicate, when you have negotiation skills, when you can resolve conflict, and when you have the skills of understanding people. What about being adaptable? Become someone who can function when circumstances change. What did I say? Become someone who can function when circumstances change. And the final one, be creative. Learn to create opportunities instead of simply waiting for someone to give you one. And perhaps most importantly, build an identity larger than your job title. And that's transferable capital. Let me repeat. So build knowledge, build skills, build relationships. Focus on your reputation. Your name should mean something even when your title is removed. Be emotionally intelligent. Become adaptable. Be creative. Those things are what we call transferable capital. Those are skills that can take you anywhere. Those are skills that can open doors for you. So hear this. If everything that makes you valuable disappears when somebody takes away your office, you haven't built enough transferable capital. You hear that one? If everything that makes you valuable disappears when somebody takes away your office or your title, you haven't built enough transferable capital. So if you're currently a bank manager, and if that position is removed from you tomorrow morning, if your value disappears, it means you haven't built enough transferable capital. So when you think about transferable capital, think about it like this. What skills do I have that can take me beyond my current role? What skills do I have that I can use? What skill do I have that I can use tomorrow morning if I'm fired from this job? If I get too tired and I want to leave, what is my fallback strategy? And if you don't have one, start working on one. So let me ask everyone tonight, if your current job disappeared tomorrow, what could you take with you that nobody could confiscate? If your current job disappeared tomorrow, what could you take that nobody could confiscate? Tell me two things you could take with you if your current job was disappeared tomorrow. What could you take with you that nobody could confiscate? I'm going to start. My knowledge. Nobody can confiscate what I know. Nobody can confiscate what I know. So if I lose the job tomorrow morning, they cannot take my knowledge. Nikki says my knowledge. Nobody can take that. Your network, the friendships you would have formed, the people you would have met while in your current role, who you'd have formed relationships with. People can't take your network from you. Your qualifications, nobody can take that from you. Your reputation. Nobody can take your reputation from you. Your name should mean something even when your title is removed. Your creativity, your ability to communicate, your ability to lead, those are things that nobody can confiscate. Nobody can fire you tomorrow morning and tell you to leave your creativity, leave your reputation, leave your qualification, leave your network, and leave your knowledge in the office. Nobody can tell you that. Those things go with you. But here's the bitter part. What if you're in a job for 15 years and the same way you got that job, the same level at which you got that job, is the same level at which you leave that job? What are you leaving with? Outdated qualification? Outdated knowledge? So think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. So let's do one scenario tonight. And I want everybody to participate. So imagine this. You've worked for an organization for 20 years. You've sacrificed. You've stayed up late. You've taken homework. You've mentored new employees. You've covered when other people were absent. People regularly come to you for advice. A senior position becomes available, and everybody tells you this has your name written all over it. You apply, you were interviewed, and privately, you already imagined yourself in that position. Then Friday afternoon comes, your manager calls. Thank you for applying. Unfortunately, we've decided to go in another direction. But here's where it gets harder. The person who gets the job has been there for just 1 year. And Monday morning, you have to report to them. So let's talk. What do you do? A, resign immediately. B, stay but emotionally check out. C, ask for feedback, regroup and continue performing. Or D, begin to look elsewhere. What do you do? What do you do? You've been in the job for 20 years. You've been working. You train people. You take home work. You mentor new staff. A senior position comes up. Everybody encourages you to apply for it. You applied in your mind. You start imagining all of what you will do when you get that role. Just to hear that your manager called you to say, unfortunately, you didn't get the job. Someone who has just been in the company for 1 year got the promotion. And you, with your 20 years of experience, will have to start reporting to that person come Monday morning. What do you do? Let me hear from somebody. What do you do in such a situation? What do you do? Is that a slap in the face? It could be, yes it is. But how do you deal with it? How do you deal with that closed door? Are you going to allow ego to let you resign? Are you going to stay but emotionally check out? Are you going to start looking elsewhere? Or are you going to ask for feedback? Regroup, gather yourself, because you're going to feel away. You're human. We're human. You're going to feel disappointed. You're going to feel crushed. But are you going to use some time to gather yourself and continue to perform the way you were? Kaf said, I seek info from the manager where I fell short. Exactly. And that speaks to somebody who is emotionally healthy. No, you're not going to resign. You're not going to use your ego and just resign. No. You're not going to stay but emotionally check out. No, because if you emotionally check out, your performance will drop. The right thing to do, the professional thing to do, the mature thing to do, ask for feedback. Definitely. You want to know why did they get the job. But you're asking for feedback so you know what to work on, where you fell short, what skills you're lacking. What is the new direction the company, the organization is going? So you can start aligning your skills for the next opportunity. And you're going to feel away naturally, but you regroup and come again. You brush off yourself, put on your big girl panty, your big man brief, and you go again. And you continue to perform the same way you used to perform. And that speaks to your character. That speaks to your character. Someone who can hear no. Someone who can watch someone else get promoted in front of them, and it doesn't dictate how you perform. That speaks to your character. So now let's make it uncomfortable. What happens Monday morning when that person walks into your office? Can you congratulate them? What happens when they ask you for help? Because remember, you're more experienced. Would you help them? Or would you think you wanted the job, figure it out? Rather interesting. Suppose the person who was promoted over you come to you for help. They don't know what to do. You have the 20 years experience. They come to you for help. What do you do? Are you going to ask them to figure it out? Or are you going to support? Marie says, definitely help. Yes, definitely help. Definitely help. Because that is speaking to your character. Because now we're not discussing promotion anymore. We're discussing character. And let me be clear. Choosing to leave may be completely appropriate, depending on the context. Choosing to leave may be completely appropriate, depending on the context. You may conclude that you've outgrown that organization. Could be. You may recognize that your opportunities there are limited. But there's a difference between leaving strategically and leaving emotionally. And that's where transferable capital matters. So instead of spending the next 6 months destroying relationships because you weren't promoted, perhaps you spend those 6 months strengthening your skills, expanding your network, developing your reputation, and preparing yourself for another opportunity. Marie says, someone's promotion is a decision about a position, not a verdict on my worth. Exactly. Definitely not a verdict on your worth. So don't burn your transferable capital trying to punish an organization for closing a door. No. And that's a line worth remembering. Don't ever burn your transferable capital trying to punish an organization because they said no to you. Use the time to strengthen your skills, expand your network, develop your reputation, and prepare for another opportunity. And this stuff isn't just about jobs. So somebody listening tonight could be dealing with a closed door in a relationship. The relationship ended. So the relationship ended. And you're asking, what did I do wrong? Sometimes that's an important question because reflection matters. But don't spend the next 5 years auditing for somebody who already decided to leave you. Not auditioning, sorry. Don't spend the next 5 years auditioning for somebody who already decided to leave you. Learn, heal, and grow. Take the lessons with you. That's transferable capital too. Someone else's closed door might be financial. The business failed. Don't ask yourself, how much money did I lose? Ask yourself, what did I learn that I can take into my next venture? Somebody didn't get into the university they wanted. Someone didn't qualify for the mortgage. Someone didn't make the team. Some friendships end. Someone's retirement plan changed. Someone moved to another country and discovered life wasn't what they expected. Different doors, same question. Who are you becoming because this happened? So whatever the situation, whatever the door is, the same question applies. Who am I becoming because of this closed door? What did I learn during the process that I can use to move on stronger? So here now I want to balance tonight's conversation. So let me balance tonight's conversation. Sometimes we say everything happens for a reason. We often say that everything happens for a reason, and maybe, but be careful using that sentence with someone who's hurting you. Be careful to use that sentence. Be careful using that sentence with someone who's hurting you. Some closed doors hurt as hell. Some are unfair. Some involve discrimination. Some involve betrayal. Some involve genuinely poor decisions by other people. So we don't have to pretend every rejection was wonderful. No. Sometimes something terrible happened. The question isn't, was this fair? No. The more powerful question can eventually become, what will I do with what happened? Because you cannot control the door, You cannot control the door. But you have tremendous influence over the person standing in front of it. So you cannot control whether the door stays open or whether it's closed. You cannot control it. What you can control is the person standing in front of the door, and that's you. How you respond. How you respond. So we've spent all this time discussing doors other people close. But perhaps you're standing in front of a door you need to close yourself. I'm going to flip the script. We're going to move away from people closing doors now. What about you? You are standing in front of a door you need to close. Maybe it's a job you've outgrown. A friendship that has become unhealthy. A business strategy that clearly isn't working. What about a version of yourself you are desperately trying to maintain? An opportunity you keep pursuing simply because you've already invested so much. Sometimes just resilience means persevering, but sometimes wisdom means recognizing the chapter is over. Because not every door deserves another knock. Keisha says, me just close a door was hard, but it was necessary. Exactly. We need to recognize when the chapter is over. Not every door deserves another knock. Let me say it again. Not every door deserves another knock. Some of us aren't stuck because no new doors are opening. We're stuck because both hands are still holding onto that already closed door. Sometimes the door is already closed and you hang on to the closed door. You hang on to the closed door with both hands and you let other opportunities pass you by. Pass you by. Pass you by. Yes. Exactly, Keisha. Not every door deserves another knock. Sometimes people let them go on. Let the closed door keep closed. Sometimes you forget you hammer your nail and knock it or close it more permanent too. And some doors, Kav says some doors need to be closed to take us out of our comfort zone. Exactly. So tonight I don't want you leaving motivated. I want you leaving honest. So before you go to bed, I want you to ask yourself 4 questions. What door am I still grieving? What door am I still grieving? What did that experience reveal about me? What transferable capital did I gain from it? And if you want to know more about transferable capital, get this book. It's chapter 9. Speaks about transferable capital. Chapter 9 of this book, transferable capital. So what transferable capital did I gain from it? And finally, what am I becoming because the door closed? Sit with those questions. Because perhaps the greatest mistakes we make is believing the opportunity was the prize. Sometimes the person you become while recovering from losing it is a real prize. So if tonight's conversation connects with where you are in life, I explore this idea more in this book, The Psychology of Fragility, particularly the importance of developing transferable capital. And transferable capital is about building competence, building relationships, identity, and value that are not imprisoned within one role or one institution. So the book is on Amazon. It's on my website. Go get it. It's on physical copy, ebook. It's there. It's available. And I want to leave you with something tonight. A closed door can take away an opportunity. Don't let it take away your identity. What did I say? A closed door, it can take away an opportunity. Don't ever let it take away your identity. Build yourself so intentionally that when one door closes, you don't spend the rest of your life begging for it to reopen. Thank you, Summer. Build yourself so intentionally that when one door closes, you don't spend the rest of your life begging for it to be reopened. So when you experience closed doors, remember, you're walking away with your knowledge, you're walking away with your experience, you're walking away with your character, you're walking away with the relationships you would have built, you're walking away with valuable lessons, and those are your transferable capital, and you're taking them with you, and you're ready to walk towards another door and to bust down another door and walk in it with confidence. Because open doors may reveal opportunity, but closed doors reveal your character. This is profound teaching. And sometimes the door that didn't open forces you to discover that you were carrying the keys to somewhere else all along. You hear that one? Do you hear that one? Sometimes the door that didn't open forces you to discover that you were carrying the key to somewhere else all along. The relationship you're fighting for may not be yours. The position you're fighting for may not be yours. The friendship that you're in that is so toxic might not be yours. The job you're killing yourself in may not be yours. So sometimes a closed door forces you to discover that all along you were carrying the key, but you were trying it in the wrong door. What that means is that you're investing in the wrong person. You're investing it in the wrong crowd. You're investing it in the wrong business. You're investing it in the wrong company. You're investing it in the wrong relationship. You're investing it in the wrong people. And when they walk out of your life, when that door closes, you realize that, whoa, I spent 10 years of my life, I wasted 10 years of my life. Guess what I'm talking makes sense. So sometimes you have the key, but you're trying it in the wrong door. It's not a match. It's not a match. It's not a match. And you're trying your key in the wrong door. It means stop investing. When you see doors closing, when you see relationship failing, stop, lose your identity and fight for things we already closed. Stop hang on to closed doors. It's not doing it is not doing you any good. Friendships not working out, stop force yourself. Relationship not working out, stop force yourself. Your key will fit where you're valued. Take your key somewhere else. Take your key somewhere else. And maybe the key you're walking with, you were trying it in a regular door. You were trying it in a regular door. And when that regular door not opening and you realize, well, let me try something else. That key open a bigger door. That key might open a palace. Never forget that. Never forget that. Never forget that. And sometimes you small up yourself. You small up yourself to be fit. You small up yourself. Small up yourself if you have to fit or to be like. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't small up your dreams. Don't small up your aspiration. Don't let nobody put you in a box. No. Summer says, not because a car can screw in a light blue, don't mean light will come. Exactly. 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 But sometimes you're wasting your time. Wasting your time trying to reopen a door that is closed. Make the door stay closed. Focus your energy somewhere else. Take what you've learned. Take your skills. Take your expertise. Take the lessons learned and invest it in somewhere else. You may open a bigger door, a more productive door, a door for you. Never forget that. Never forget that. So I'm going to leave you with this tonight. Closed doors reveal character. And sometimes closed doors that didn't open, forces us to discover that we were carrying the key to somewhere else all along. Take that with you. Take that with you. Stop trying to open closed doors. That is it on Leadership Unscripted for tonight. Stay safe. Stay blessed. And remember, we're here every night having real conversations, talking about real leadership and talking about real impact. Summer says, and also, delay don't mean denial. It was not the time. Remember, get the book. Get the book. Marie says, your presentation consistently provides opportunity for reflection, learning, and personal growth. That is the aim, Marie. That is the aim. That is the aim. That's why I started this platform. That's why I sit every day, every night, and I do my research. The full presentation will be on YouTube. It will also be posted on this live as well, Nikki. So I'll repost this entire live on TikTok, and it will also be over on my YouTube channel. And that's why I do my research, and I come every night well prepared, because I want to build a platform that is impact, not just another TikTok live. I want to have a platform where when people come, they walk away feeling empowered. And sometimes, most of the times, when I'm on here, I'm speaking to myself and I'm learning from the research. Sometimes I'm learning from the research. And sometimes I have to go back in my book and say, whoa, Dale, come Dale. Check yourself, check yourself. And that's the journey I'm on. Suppose I tell you that this entire summer, for the past 3 weeks, I've been all by myself. I'm traveling to different places and I've been all by myself, reflecting, thinking, reading, and researching. Because I realized that I've become drained. I wasn't investing in myself, and I needed that time. I needed that time to refuel. I haven't done that in a long time. So for the past 2 weeks, that's what I've been doing. I'm just going different places, having different experiences all by myself. No one, nobody around me. It's just me, myself, and my mind. I need to sit. Sometimes when you just sit with your thoughts, sit with your thoughts. And sometimes I'm a man, and sometimes I sit down, and when some thoughts come to me, they bring tears. Because sometimes you have to sit with your thoughts, confront them demons. Because when you're busy every day, your mind is always preoccupied with something else. But sitting with your thought is powerful. So I'm going back to work next week. A more grounded person. A different person. Mindset is clear. And I'm ready to pour into people. Way more than I was doing before. But you need to take the